I really liked Mario 64. I forgot to mention in the last video that I first played this game at my cousin's house, and it was really fun. However, my cousin got another game that I liked even better, and that would be Banjo-Kazooie. Released in 1998, Banjo-Kazooie was a game that actually had a lot of changes before it became the game that it eventually became. So I'll go over the story about the game's development first. Originally, it was going to be a game called Project Dream. Now, what is the whole story of this? Well, the story would be about a little boy named Edison who would have trouble with some pirates, one known as Captain Black-Eye, who would make a cameo appearance in the game's sequel, Banjo-Tooie. Now, there had been some music posted by the music composer online, so the music isn't all lost. However, there were some undergoing changes. First off, the game was intended to be on for the Super Nintendo, but because the game became so large, they moved it to the N64. And for the next thing, they had some undergoing changes with each of the characters. First off, they decided having a boy as the main hero was kind of underrated. Though I've seen other games have a little boy as the main hero. But anyway, Rare decided that the main hero of the game should be an animal. Now I don't know how many changes they had gone through with choosing who the main hero of the game should be, but eventually they decided to have Banjo, the bear, be the main hero. He was going to be a secondary character in the original version of the game, but he eventually became the main character. Though this isn't the very first game that Banjo officially appears in. He previously appears in Diddy Kong Racing, which I may or may not review for Gamingcember. Okay, so now that I've gotten the whole backstory of this game done, let me tell you the entire story. Okay, so the story starts off with an evil witch named Gruntilda peering into her cauldron. The cauldron's name is Dingpot, and he says that there is a girl who is prettier than her. Gruntilda gets jealous, so she flies off on her broom as Tootie, Banjo's little sister, goes over to her brother's house and is excited because when he wakes up, he and she are going to go on an adventure. And she also meets up with a friend of hers called Bottles the Mole. Banjo is still sleeping in his house. Banjo's friend Kazooie, the bird, is wanting to go on the adventure too. However, Gruntilda then comes down and swipes Tootie from the ground. Banjo finally wakes up, and then the duo goes out and meets up with Bottles. Bottles explains what had happened, and he teaches them new moves so they can go and rescue Tootie. Of course, he doesn't teach them every move at the beginning of the game, just the basic moves. He'll teach some more moves in later levels. Okay, so what exactly is Gruntilda's plan? Well, she plans to use the beauty from Tootie to make herself beautiful by using this beauty-matic machine, I guess. And it's up to Banjo and Kazooie to go and stop her. So, they go through Gruntilda's castle, which serves as the main hub level of the game. Unlike most hub levels, this takes place inside the main villain's lair. Quite interesting. So what's the whole goal here? Banjo and Kazooie need to go through 9 different levels and collect 10 Jiggies from each of them, along with 10 Jiggies within Gruntilda's lair. The first one is pretty easy to find. You find it at the entrance of the level. The other 9 Jiggies hidden throughout Gruntilda's lair have to appear after you press down a witch switch inside each of the main 9 levels. And when you press the switch down, the Jiggy will either appear or something will happen that will allow you to collect the Jiggy. And what do you use these Jiggies for? Well, you use them to open up other worlds. There are jigsaw puzzles outside of each level, and you have to fill in the empty spots, which sounds basic enough. Now, what other things will you find in the level? Well, there are also these musical notes that are found throughout each of the 9 levels. There are a total of 100 in each level, with 900 all throughout the game. Now you need these notes to break the note doors hidden throughout Gruntilda's lair, which will allow you to go even further into the lair. And of course, you meet up with Bottles as he teaches you some more new moves. One would be shooting eggs, one would be flying, and another would be invincibility. You also get assistance from Mumbo-Jumbo, a shaman who will transform Banjo and Kazooie into different things, though he will not appear in every single level. There are a total of 5 transformations that Mumbo will transform you into, along with a 6th one for the Bottles bonus challenge. And also, there are 5 creatures known as Jinjos hidden throughout the level, and they come in 5 different colors. They come in purple, green, yellow, orange, and blue. Once you collect every Jinjo from the level, you will get a Jiggy. So, the levels all through this game are pretty interesting. I certainly like how they each look, though some of them are a lot harder than others, and some of them are a lot boring than others. But take them for what they are. A couple of other things to note about this game is that further on in the game you can also put things on your feet. Well, Kazooie can anyway. First would be the wading boots, which allow Banjo and Kazooie to go through dangerous locations, and running shoes that allows Kazooie to go extra fast. So, you got all that? Good. So, each of the levels would include a mountain level called Mumbo's Mountain, a beach level called Treasure Trove Cove, a sewer level called Clanker's Cavern, a swamp level called Bubble Gloop Swamp, a winter level called Freezy Peak, a desert level called Gobi's Valley, a haunted house level called Mad Monster's Mansion, a dock level called Rusty Bucket Bay, and a forest level called Click Clock Wood. Now, Click Clock Wood is quite an interesting level. You can visit this area in the 4 different seasons, and I certainly like that, especially provided that it is at the very end of the game. A couple of things to also help you out through the game would include Gruntilda. Gruntilda's nicer sister who knows all of Gruntilda's secrets, and every time you find her within Gruntilda's lair, she will tell you 3 of them. However, things are quite more difficult, as you will need these answers for the Grunty's Furnace Fun game at the very end. And what's even more challenging is that every time you play the game, Gruntilda's answers will be different. So therefore, if you answer a question to one of Gruntilda's secrets, it may not always be the same answer each time. So it may be correct in one play of the game, but incorrect in another. And there's also a spell book called Cheeto. Now, Cheeto will give you cheat codes for every time you find him in Gruntilda's lair, which will allow you to double the amount of eggs and feathers you can carry. Okay, so we're getting now to the very end. After going through all 9 levels, Banjo and Kazooie go to Grunty's Furnace Fun, which is a quiz game. After you beat it, 2D is free, and we then roll through the credits with most of the characters in them. And the gang starts up a party. However, it is cut short when 2D informs them that Gruntilda got away and that they need to finish the job. So Banjo and Kazooie go back up into Gruntilda's lair to try to finish her off. However, things are going to be a lot more difficult because there is another puzzle that they have to complete. Once they do, they enter a room where Dingpot waits. And Gruntilda informs them that she's waiting for them at the top of the tower. And Dingpot can help you get up there. Now, it can be quite difficult to beat Gruntilda, especially if you haven't opened up all the note doors surrounding the area in which Dingpot is at. Behind 3 of the 4 note doors are large feathers and eggs, which when you collect them, will top the amount of eggs and feathers that you can carry. And the fourth one leads to a room with one more puzzle to complete. Once it is complete, you get twice as much honey energy as you had before. Oh, speaking of which, all throughout Banjo-Kazooie in the game, there are these empty honeycomb pieces. When you collect 6 of them, you can get an extra unit of honey energy. There are 6 to be found in Spiral Mountain, but 2 to be found in each of the main levels. However, once you get up to 8 units, that's it. If you collect the last 6 units of honey, you're not going to get another unit. So pretty much the maximum is 8. So you fight Gruntilda, then she protects herself using this shield, but then some Jinjo statues appear, and you have to shoot eggs into them in order to activate them. Once they are activated, they will fly towards Gruntilda and attack her. After all 4 of the Jinjo statues have been activated, Gruntilda will fall to the ground. However, it's not over. As Gruntilda continues to shoot her fireballs at you, a giant Jinjo statue will emerge from the ground. You have to shoot eggs into this statue, but there are 4 different holes all around the statue. Once you do get them all shot in, the Jinjonator will be activated, Gruntilda will be defeated, she falls to the ground, she gets stuck under a rock where she remains for 2 years, getting freed in the game's sequel. So with Gruntilda finally defeated, the gang has a celebration at the beach. We roll through the characters that we didn't see in the first character roll. Mumbo shows Banjo and Kazooie some secrets, only if they collect all 100 Jiggies in the game. And then after that, we see Klungo, Gruntilda's ogre henchman, trying to push the boulder off of Gruntilda. So Gruntilda vows revenge. Yeah, you want me to mention it. Okay. There's also this thing called Stop and Swap, which basically features 6 mystery eggs and an ice key. What do they exactly do? Nobody knows! Nobody has ever found out. They were supposed to be a huge link up to the game's sequel, Banjo-Tooie. However, by the time Banjo-Tooie got out, this whole idea was cancelled. So, I guess collecting the eggs and keys in Banjo-Kazooie would be pretty much pointless. How exactly would you collect them? Well, you first have to press down some sort of cheat code in the Treasure Trove Cove sandcastle area, the same place where you can get a Jiggy, but then also type in the cheat codes that Cheeto gives you. You need to spell out the word cheat, then spell out a certain type of code in order for one of the mystery eggs to be findable. And once you do, you can go to that area, collect the eggs, and that's it. Now, I really want to know what exactly Rare's original plan for these Stop and Swap eggs was. I kind of get the feeling that we still don't know what their original plan is for. Or if the eggs in the original Banjo-Kazooie even do anything. I guess we'll never find out. So thank you for watching my Gamingcember review on Banjo-Kazooie. One of the greatest games, a rip-off to Mario 64, but a good rip-off. It took a lot of things from Mario 64 and put them into something a lot bigger. So, thank you, and I'll see you next time.